Hey guys, welcome to the, I guess you could say overview of the page 64 of the Stripes and Links story, the Sabrina Online, mostly very zigzag-centric story. And yeah, it's pretty much a decent little continuation. It's kind of wrapping up the whole reuniting, reconciling of Zigzag and her mom, and basically Zigzag, pretty much says herself that she wants to stay. Well, not herself. Well, yeah, basically Zigzag says it herself to her mom that she wants to stay angry with her mom, but now after finding out the truth, basically the fact that her mom basically really couldn't do much because the father, was the way he was, and she didn't want to potentially cause any more trouble. Zigzag, even though she says she still wants to, Zigzag basically says, and I quote, there's still part of me that wants to stay angry with you, but now more of me just feels sorry for you. So again, it's her, kind of juggling at the fact that she still wants to stay angry. She still wants to have a little bit of that anger towards her mom, but now it's being replaced with, sorriness, with, I wouldn't say pitifulness or anything, but yeah, excuse me, but yeah, a bit of sorriness. She feels sorry for what her mom had to go through and everything. But the mom, she's like, don't feel sorry for me. I'm doing fine. And then Zigzag basically explains to her, I don't regret. I don't. This is what Zigzag said. I'm trying to read it. If you hear any pauses, I do apologize. She says, I don't regret what I did all those years ago, but I'm starting to regret that I took this long to check in again. I've been avoiding you all, not wanting to face my past. And then she says, I could have watched my brother and sister grow up. I could have let go of some baggage, or maybe, even, try to reconnect with my own mother. And after saying that, her mom says, there's still time. So what does Zigzag do? Zigzag gives her business card, which has her personal phone number on it. She says, here, this has my personal number on it. Feel free to call me anytime, night or day. And the mother's very grateful about that. And, the mother even says, I'm so happy that you came by. This is what basically the mother says, and I quote, I'm so happy that you came home, Zigzag. She almost called her Tanya. And she's like, would you mind a hug? And Zigzag, kind of standoffish a little bit. She's like, Mom, I don't think it's, she's basically, Zigzag, her mom's offering her a hug because, Zigzag's getting ready to go. And, Zigzag's like, Mom, I don't think I'm quite there yet. And then the mom's like, oh, I see. And then all of a sudden the mother decides, too bad. This is what the mom says. She's like, because again, the mother is like, I'm so happy that you came home, Zigzag. Again, she almost called her Tanya. She asks if she would like a hug. Zigzag standoffish is like, I don't think I'm quite there yet. And then the mother's like, oh, I see. And then all of a sudden the mother's like, too bad. I've been waiting a long time, and I'm your goddamn mother. Excuse my language, God. Excuse my language, God. But that's what she says. She said, too bad. Too bad. I've been waiting a long time, and I'm your mother. And she just literally hugs and basically embraces and squeezes Zigzag, literally. And you kind of see maybe where Zigzag got that trait from when it comes to like being very affectionate and huggy and all that. She gets it from her mom. So, yeah, decent little wrap up to the whole mom situation, the whole Zigzag and mom situation there. We don't know her mom's name just yet. We just know her as mom. But yes, it's a nice little, I guess you could say, like I said, continuation and all that between the two. But, for the story, it's a nice reconciliation, or at least the start of reconciliation with them. So really good, really good. I got to give it to Eric W. Shorts for that. But and again, the the humorous part at the end to wrap it up with is, Zigzag basically pulling a Sabrina or pulling something like an Endora, like, yeah, I'm not too sure about that. But then all of a sudden the mother's like, yeah, too bad, I've been waiting a long time for this, and I'm your mother, and all that, kind of pulling a Zigzag on Zigzag. So, and a lot of people pointed that out, that that's probably where Zigzag gets it from. So I guess, again, this is going to be like a lesson, as I've mentioned before in some other reviews. This is going to be like a lesson Zigzag's going to learn throughout this trip. Like, yeah, maybe she shouldn't be too ambiguous, too, I guess you could say pushy when it comes to things. Like, just let it play out. If somebody's not cool with it, give them the space, respect their, respect that. Excuse me. Give them the space, respect that, and just move on, or just come up with something different. And as I said before, I think this is going to be a huge change for her, because she'll still do her job and everything, still do her adult stuff and all that, participate in that, direct that and all that, produce it. But I think she's going to be more like, very, I guess you could say, considerate. She's going to be more consensual when it comes to certain things, at the job. Like, like let's say she wants to have a lesbian scene between Sheila Vixen and one of the Skunk sisters, or one of the Skunk girls, I should say. And, like, let's say she wants to have a three-way lesbian scene, or just a one-on-one one, between Sheila and Tracy, or Sheila and Stacy. I think what's going to happen is she's going to be more consentable, more considerate. Like, hey, is this, like, she'll go to Stacy or Tracy and say, hey, is it okay if one of you does this scene with Sheila? And she'll probably do the same with Sheila. Like, Sheila, is it okay if you want to do something like with one of them and all that? I think that's what you're going to get. And it's not just going to be, the lesbian kind of stuff. You'll get the straight stuff as well. Like, she'll talk to one of the guys that works at one of the guys that works at her studios that has these scenes, like a hairdresser's husband, who's one of the guys there. And she'll probably be more considerable, like, and considerate, like, hey, is it okay if, you do this scene with me, or you do this scene with these two girls? Is it okay with you? Is it okay with your wife and everything? I think that's what we're going to get out of this. I think again, she's going to be more considerate, and more consentable when it comes to that stuff. And she's not going to be so, I guess you could say, affectionate. Well, she'll be affectionate still, but she won't be as affectionate like she used to be when it comes to, like, Sabrina and, her family and everything, unless they're willing to accept it. And I think that's what we're going to get out of this when it comes to Zigzag. She's going to take what she's learning from here, see what she probably got from her mother, probably got from her father, got from her grandfather, because her grandfather's a freaking tiger. So I think she's gonna take all that to heart, and she's gonna be like, yeah, it's time for me to, it's time for me to kind of cut back and, not do that stuff, and, just let people, live their lives, and just be more respectful about their space and everything, and what they're more, comfortable with doing and not doing. So I think that's what we're going to get there with Zigzag. As far as Endora goes, I don't think we're done with her yet. I think, after the little romp with each other, I think I think Endora is gonna be more open as to why this kiss from Zigzag sparked something in her, and why it's basically opened her up a little bit more now with that little intimacy she had with her husband. So I think we're gonna find out more about her eventually. I think she's gonna be more open now. Like, maybe she's gonna let us know there was a side of her that was bi back when she was younger. Maybe in her college days. Again, we don't know, but we'll see. We'll see as soon as the story continues. Probably later this week or next week. But I've enjoyed it so far, and I still believe the way the story's going to end is you're going to have Endora probably give Zigzag a taste of her own medicine by kissing her out of nowhere, as a humorous way of forgiving her and kind of rekindling that friendship, and maybe even agree to once in a while maybe have a little fun with Zig, when she's comfortable with it, when she's okay with it. So I could see that happening, and I can also see, like I said, I think there's going to be spin-offs maybe with the For After Dark site. where I think we're going to get a spin-off story with either Tina Lynx and Zig Zag getting it on at hotels that they stayed at during the trip, or Warren and Endora, maybe Endora and Zig Zag. It's one of those three is going to happen. I just feel it. But overall, I've enjoyed the story. I got to give again credit to Eric W. Shorts for going as far as he has with the story. We're heading into the 65th page, and I don't know how many more pages the story's going to have before it wraps up, but it looks like it's going to, it looks like it's going to hold the record for the longest Sabrina online story ever. And Sabrina's barely in it. It's mostly Zigzag centric, so it's gonna be a lot of fun to see what happens. A lot of fun, I should say, to wonder what's gonna happen next and everything going forward. But that's all I can say, guys, on it. Let me know what your thoughts are overall in the comment section, as well as during the live chat during the premiere. Like the video, ring the bell for notifications, subscribe to the channel, click on the links in the description to find my content elsewhere outside of YouTube, as well as click on the link at the Teespring store for merchandise you can't get anywhere else. Again, like the video, ring the bell for notifications, share the video, subscribe. Let's get to at least 30,000 before the summer's out, and 50,000 before the year is out. But guys, let me know again. Let me know what your thoughts are overall. And until then, I am done. And take care. God bless. Talk to you later.